International trade suffered disruptions that extended far beyond the immediate conflict zone as shipping companies rerouted cargo vessels to avoid potential attacks on commercial traffic. Maritime insurance rates increased substantially for vessels transiting the eastern Mediterranean, while global supply chains adapted to avoid components manufactured in regions supporting either side of the conflict. Energy markets remained volatile as traders anticipated potential expansion of conflict to oil-producing regions, creating economic uncertainties that affected international commerce and investment patterns. The Abraham Accords, which had normalized relations between Israel and the UAE, Bahrain, and Morocco, experienced significant strain as societal-level contacts diminished and business relationships cooled. The UAE and Israel established a new land route across Saudi Arabia and Jordan that allowed Israeli companies to bypass Red Sea shipping lanes threatened by attacks from Yemen, demonstrating adaptive economic cooperation despite political tensions. However, the overall impact on trade relationships remained negative, with many joint projects placed on hold indefinitely. Saudi Arabia's potential normalization with Israel faced new complications as the kingdom demanded substantial progress on Palestinian issues as a precondition for any future diplomatic agreements. The conflict effectively suspended normalization discussions that had progressed steadily throughout 2024, forcing Saudi leadership to balance domestic political pressure with strategic economic interests. Other Arab nations found themselves navigating similar tensions between public support for Palestinian causes and practical relationships with Israeli partners. Domestic politics in supporting nations experienced significant impacts as ethnic and religious communities pressured governments to adopt more aggressive positions reflecting their cultural loyalties. American constituencies increased political engagement around Middle Eastern policy issues, while European governments faced mass demonstrations that reflected deep divisions within their populations. Political parties throughout democratic nations struggled to maintain coalition unity when members held incompatible positions on conflict resolution and military support policies. The conflict split the international community into distinct camps that transcended traditional alliance structures, creating new geopolitical alignments based on immediate strategic calculations rather than historical partnerships. Nations discovered that their responses to this crisis would influence diplomatic relationships and regional power balances for years beyond the immediate fighting. The speed and intensity of international polarization demonstrated how quickly modern conflicts can reshape global political dynamics, forcing governments to make choices that will define their international positions long after the current violence ends. These decisions have created a fundamentally altered diplomatic landscape where previous frameworks for regional cooperation and conflict resolution no longer apply to the realities that emerge from this escalation.